Welcome back to Binge Finance. We talk about growth stocks which have pulled back, and today I'm going to talk about the mother of all growth stocks, that's Coinbase. Coinbase hit the nasdaq yesterday. Everyone was very excited because it's the first pure play on Bitcoin, and you won't believe how fast they've been growing or the amount of money they've been making. In fact, they don't need any money. That's why they didn't do an IPO. They did a direct listing. I won't go into detail on that. I'll just tell you that I'm personally not going to be investing, definitely not now anyway, and I'll tell you why. But before I do that, remember I'm just a YouTuber. I could miss something important, so do your own due diligence. Stocks that have pulled back can continue to go down much longer than you think, so never risk more than you can afford to lose on any one stock. So Coinbase, of course, is the American exchange where you can buy and sell Bitcoin and other crypto assets. This has been an exciting listing on the nasdaq because it's the first pure play on Bitcoin. What I mean by that is you can't invest in Bitcoin on the nasdaq because Bitcoin isn't a company. It doesn't have a CEO or a founder that we know of. Coinbase is the 7th largest listing to ever hit the nasdaq, and it could be justified. I mean, their revenue is unbelievable. Have a look at this. I'm not going to go back too far. This is unbelievable. In 2016, they had 16 million. Then we had that Bitcoin craze running up to the 2017 peak of 20,000 or where it was, $20,000. And their revenue was almost $1 billion. It went from 16 million to $1 billion in a year. They've had 2018 and 19 have been less because crypto is pulling back. But in 2020, their revenue went up to 1.14 billion. But this is staggering. Q1 2020, just the first quarter of this year, they've had 1.8 billion, more than entire 2020. And it's translating to profits as well. You can see that their profit in 2020 was 322 million. And the first quarter in 2020 is more than double that. So this 100 billion valuation could be justified. In fact, some people are saying that if Coinbase are to earn what they're expected this year, which would be 8 to 10 billion, their valuation is only 10 times, which is reasonable for a growth company, especially a growth company that's grown at 400% year on year. And then some people say, well, is Bitcoin overvalued? Because if Bitcoin comes down, then Coinbase will come down. But the counter argument is that Metcalfe's law says that Bitcoin should be valued around about 72,000 today. So in fact, maybe Bitcoin's undervalued. Metcalfe's law it just states the value of a network. It says that it's proportionate to the square of the number of connected users in the system. It's some way you can try and value a network, and it seems to be quite accurate. So I'm not saying that Bitcoin's overvalued. I'm not saying that Coinbase is necessarily overvalued. My reason for being concerned about buying into this stock right now is because everything feels like it's up at the highest. If we have a look at the Bitcoin price, you can see it's at all-time high. The nasdaq at all-time highs as well. And the NFT space has just been what feels like in a bubble. Non-fungible tokens selling for millions of pounds. It's just a GIF. So everything just feels too rich. And let's have a look at some of the biggest IPOs of last year. There was DoorDash. You can see that pulled back. Bumble, that pulled back, and it had so much excitement. You can see how quickly it pushed up and then pulled back. Uber has gone up since IPO, but that had a pullback as well. That obviously maybe it's because the broader market came down. The point I'm making is I'm not trying to compare Coinbase to anything else, but IPOs, in my experience, tend to be this rush of exuberance, and then you do get a pullback, you do get an entry, and maybe I'll miss. Maybe it will continue to go up and I'll miss a good entry, but I'd rather be safe than buy something that's going to be too risky. And the other risk is systemic risk from legislation. Even the CEO of Coinbase say that legislation around crypto is probably their biggest risk. And also the Bitcoin price itself, the volatility. If Bitcoin comes down, then the Coinbase share price will come down. If we look at the opening day of Coinbase on the nasdaq, you can see it started off really strong, moved up, and then just dumped and faded the whole day. This would have trapped a lot of longs, and people would have been buying long as it came down, thinking they're getting a good deal, but no, it just drifted off. And this could be just a sell the news sort of day. So anyway, for me, I'm just going to wait a few weeks, a few months, and just see how it performs. And if it gives me a good pullback entry, I'll possibly buy it, but I may not buy it at all. I just want to give you my thoughts and try not to FOMO into it, because it's very tempting with all the press and hype that's around it. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.